Hey, what up, peoples? Come on in, Organic Fanatics. Thank y'all for coming in. We appreciate y'all. Welcome.
Fields in the building, my God, what's good?
And I salute the new Knicks. Let's get it.
Shout out to the new Knicks.
The new Knicks, salute my guy.
The new Knicks, the Organic Podcast.
Uh-oh. Sounds like it's about to go down in here. Going down. New York City. Brooklyn, Staten in the Bronx. Manhattan, Queens, what you want? We want the Knicks. We want the Knicks. We want the Knicks. We want the Knicks. Brooklyn, Staten in the Bronx. Manhattan, Queens, what you want? We want the Knicks. We want the Knicks. This is for the win. We want the Knicks.
Yo. Welcome, my peoples. Appreciate y'all for coming. Thank y'all for being here. Salute to the family. Everybody that's watching, we appreciate y'all. Everybody who's tuning in, we appreciate y'all. We hope y'all had a wonderful weekend. We are now in the All-Star break, while we are waiting for my fam to come in. Mig, Mr. Cole takes himself. Salute. What up, Miggy?
You hear me?
Yeah, you good, brother. You loud and clear, my man. Talk to him.
All right.
Talk to him. Come on in.
What's going on, family? What's going on, peoples?
Yep.
What's going on, Knicks Nation? On this break that we're having, even though we sucked at the All-Stars.
All right, so we going in. So where you want to start on? You want to start on? Let's talk about the dunk contest. Let's talk about
that shit.
Let's talk about Mr. Jericho Sims and what you thought about the dunk contest.
I don't know, man. I don't know what that kid was trying to do, man. He wasn't trying to do anything, bro.
I don't know if you think it was nerves. I don't know if it was nerves that got him a little jittery. I mean, because everybody knows he could jump out the building. It was on there. I think he froze. I don't know if he got the nerves got the best of him. I don't know if
lack of creativity. Yeah.
I thought it would have been okay if he would have completed the dunks, but it looks like he I don't know,
it didn't look like there was any thought. It was just, I don't know what the hell that was, dude. I feel bad.
I see what he's trying to do, the double of the Vince Carter with both hands in there, but to have it where you dunk and then you have one hand and then at the last minute you're squeezing it in. I just thought he had it. If you're gonna have those, I just think you just had to have it like down packed. You know what I'm saying? Like ready to go in and like
he's a tall, athletic guy that got hops. He's not too agile. He's not a very agile guy, you know what I mean? He's fast and he's quick, but he's not very or agile where he can do tricks like Obi can. Like he just doesn't have it in him, I don't think.
So he's like physical, but you don't think his athleticism is up there?
He's athletic, but he just doesn't have that kind of agility. He's just not an agile. He doesn't seem like a very agile, super, I don't know, guy. You know what I mean? Or he's just not creative enough to be.
And I don't even know if it's the creativity. I think the execution was my thing. You know what I mean? So like, if he would have completed the dunks, I think there would have been good dunks. I mean, if he was able to jump and put both hands in at one time and like have them all in there, I think that's what made it look bad to me, at least. Where he's doing it, and then at the last minute you're sliding in.
Yeah, he just didn't do it all the way. Yeah, he didn't practice it enough.
Yeah, and then the second dunk, as big as he is, as high as he can jump, it took away from it where it looks like he's pulled himself up off the net. Like, you don't have to do that. You could jump all day. I don't know. I think those two things was like the thing that killed it out there, where you're pulling yourself up like you can't get up there. We know you can get up there easily without even really trying, to be honest. I don't know.
It's all good. It's all good. Maybe next year, maybe next year,
I think but
it took Obi 2 years. He didn't do too good the first year, and then the second year it was just whatever.
Yeah, but it's in Obi's blood. I mean, his dad street ball dunking.
It's in Obi's blood and his DNA, and I don't think so much it doesn't seem like it's like that for Sims for Jericho. But he's a big, strong guy. I mean, he'll be all right. It could have been nerves. It could have been just nerves.
I mean, he's so quiet as a person or laid back.
Yeah, he's
I think
real shy.
I think the nerves got the best of him. He was probably really nervous.
Yeah, it's a big
But
stage, man.
yeah, I mean, you're going from almost obscurity. I'm not saying he's obscure, but almost obscurity into the biggest limelight there is practically on there. So I think that's a big jump.
Yeah, you gotta give it to Jericho Sims, being that he was the second pick. He was the second, the second round, 50th. What was he? A 58th pick
The
or something?
50, the 50. He was actually the last pick in the second round. So we
Wow,
got him literally the last pick.
he's come a long way, and he's proven himself. You know, especially being on the MSG in the Garden, you know, in the Mecca, and he's proven himself that worthy. Even his first year as a rookie, he's proven himself worthy. In the second year, he's holding up too with no Mitch Rob. We're doing well thanks to him and Hartenstein, and he's in the All-Star says a lot, considering that he was 58th pick in the second round last year.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree.
It's all good.
I think it'll be better next year. Just kind of like high. I guess it's hard, man. High expectations on it, but we still support him. Knicks Nation. We still love Jericho. We still first year guy. The fact that he even represents for us out there, I give him props for that. So salute to Jericho Jumpman Sims, aka Mr. Air up there, which I call him. But
Maybe next year, brother.
Maybe next year. A little more creative. Oh, but you got to help him out. You got the what he could do. I thought they would have collabed and maybe did a little trickery, something out there. But I think execution would have helped him, and he would have got that farther. My opinion.
Randall didn't do too bad. I think he did was like 50-50. He hit most of his shots. You know, the thing that was pissing me off more was Dan Green and Draymond Green and what's his name?
Reggie Stiller.
Reggie Hayton Miller.
My God, between him and Richard Jefferson, they're the worst, bro. But yeah, Reggie's I don't know,
Draymond
he should
Green
be in here.
Draymond Green talking shit too, man.
Yeah. I mean, he at least he throughout it, he was like, "Come on, Drew," and he was trying to give some support to Drew. But Reggie Miller would never. Reggie Miller would never hate it. He did respectable. I mean, considering, again, maybe the Bugs' nerves for him. He had 13 points. He did better than some. He did better than the Milwaukee people. Let's talk about those. What was it? The Milwaukee, the Giannis brothers that they competed.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was terrible, man.
Yeah.
Them and the rookies. He did better than both those teams put together.
There you go.
He scored more than them, so it wasn't a terrible turnout. They did good, 13 points.
You know what was messed up was at the end when Randall he maybe hit less than half his shots, but then at the end when his kid was crying and they panned over to his
Yo, the internet's undefeated, brother.
They hate it wasn't just the internet, it was them over there at the broadcasting. It was messed up the way they did Randall, man.
They trying him. His son.
They hate the Knicks, man.
I'll still give Randall props because they hate and they talking all that, and he's still letting his son know, things happen. He tried his best and he did it.
Tried, yeah.
Internet messing with him, talking about his son was even disappointed in his performance. He did get
it. Yeah, it was so stupid. They're hating, dude. Those guys hate.
That's all good. We're gonna show them that hate at the end of the year. They're gonna have to recognize. They're gonna have to recognize.
They will. That's why they're talking shit now, because they're gonna be eating them words later.
They got no choice. Salute to the chat. Salute the new Knicks and then Mangelo back in the building. Salute to y'all. Appreciate y'all checking in.
On Knicks Nation. Hit like and subscribe, please. Thank you very much.
Share. All right.
The organic fanatics.
And out of everybody, the three that are there, let's talk about Mr. Grimes. Mr. Grimes himself. Buster Grimes, as the internet's calling him now.
Hey man, that kid hit 70% of his shots. What was it?
It was 27 points, my man. He had 27 points in this game that everybody's supposed to shine. That shows that he is the rising star. You know what I mean? So that's huge for him out there.
Yeah.
The fact that he's, we love Grimes. Gotta give him his props.
That's right.
Hey, give him his flowers early. He was saying he was in his bag. He's talking about a go-yard bag. I don't know what the go-yard is, but Buster Grimes. He let him know. Everybody recognized. They was talking about he was in his bag. He hit the game winner. He did a dunk on him. He was trying to wham. He made a post out of somebody if they didn't foul him. So salute.
What was his stats?
What happened?
Quentin Grimes in the NBA
A
Rising
lot.
Star.
I'll tell you right now. But he had like 27 points on there.
Three
So
three steals, 2 blocks, 1 rebound, 1
big thing.
assist, 6
Big time.
3-pointers made, and he scored 70% of his team's points in the finals.
70% of the team score. That's
Think about
retarded,
that.
bro.
What do you think
So
about that?
that means he's gonna be here next year as an all-star and invite somebody. I mean, he's up there. That goes
He
to
scored
show. Good. What do you think?
70% of his team's points, dude.
That's crazy, bro.
That's crazy, dude.
The fact that he's
That's
able to do that
more
is
than double of what the team did.
shout out to the front office. Shout
There
out
you
to the
go.
front office. Let them know because
Drop something to work.
he could have been in that trade for Donovan Mitchell and IQ, which we'll talk about in a second. But we're talking about Donovan Mitchell and probably IQ and maybe Obi and 5 of our first round picks for Donovan Mitchell, who BTW, by the way, Jalen Brunson's stats are exactly what Donovan Mitchell's scoring right
Yeah,
now.
it was a little better.
A little
bit
better.
better.
Yeah. I mean, at the point guard, same stats Donovan Mitchell's getting right now. So we got him for just 100 mil, no players, no trade, no picks, none of that. So we got a Donovan Mitchell equivalent.
Speaking of the Spider, he was out there representing Knicks colors. He had the black and orange varsity jacket on.
You saw when he was looking at Grimes like, oh, I want to play with you.
Yeah. You know,
It's still a possibility we could get him in 2 years.
2 more years.
By the time he comes in, RJ will be at his top level and all our players there. So
we gotta kick his ass over there while he's with the Cavs, so we can show him, man, he needs to come over here.
If we get the 5th, I'm not sure. Somebody in the chat, let me know. If we get 5th, I think we play Cleveland, depending on where they land. That'll be.
We got a good chance against Cleveland too, man. We do actually.
I think it's gonna be tougher. I'm not saying it won't, but I think it's gonna be tougher because they're young. They got real high talent. They got good motor. They're very athletic. I think there'll be a tougher fight for us than, let's say, like a Philly. Philly's way more experienced, but you don't know what James Harden you're gonna get. You don't know if Embiid's foot's gonna last for 7 games in a series. So I think we have a better chance with them. Boston. I mean, I don't know if Boston got better, man. I don't know if they got better with who they have.
Right now, they I haven't been paying too much attention. I know that Jaylen Brown's still trying to heal. It's still top. They're still top dog right now in the East.
Yeah, but usually what you think?
But there haven't been too many games. There haven't been too many games since he's been injured. They played maybe 3 games since he's been injured. Who knows how long he's going to be out and how much that's going to knock them out of the first. They're still on top. They're still way ahead of us. What are they, like 9.5 games ahead of us?
Yeah.
First. So, that's a long ways to go still. If we can catch up 9 games to Boston, that would be ideal. That means we're going to the Eastern Conference Finals. We can catch up.
Yeah, to get first place, it's probably not going to happen in 22 games, which
probably maybe we would have to win all our games.
I mean, we'd have to go literally on what the new Knicks was talking about, a 17-3 run and get that 50
was a 17-3 run exactly.
I mean,
20 games.
Out of 20 games, we have to go 17-3. That'll give us a 50 burger. That people talking about the 50 burgers.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that. I still think 44-45 is good. I think that'll put us in the 4th to 5th, depending on how Brooklyn plays. They look like they're trying to play for that position for playoffs. They're a hungry young team, but I don't know. I don't know about that. I like us in the top 6. I like our chances, man. I like our chances whether it's against Brooklyn, Cleveland. I mean, I think it'll be good. Milwaukee's the only team that I think will be probably a tough out, but everybody else, I think we got a good chance for the first round. I think it's definitely going to go 6 or 7 games, whoever we play.
Yeah,
is my opinion on there. So as far as our bench, any thoughts on that? Will we finish?
We got a good steady deep bench. We're still good as long as everyone's healthy. We still haven't seen anything from, well, even though he's way at the end of the bench, he may not even be in the lineup. Derrick Rose or any of those guys, in case any of our bench guys fall off and get healthy. But thank God we're strong, we're healthy, and we're still deep. And the thing is that these guys are gaining experience. Who would you say, Philip, at the end of our bench? In our bench, we're talking about dudes, talking about guys like like Deuce, Obi. They're still getting there, and they still got to get their legs underneath them.
But out of all the, now I'm glad you brought up the bench. Now you're talking about the bench. Who's the most pivotal player right now on the bench? Who's that dude? I think it's Mr. Brain himself, Mr. Pinky in the Brain, IQ.
IQ.
IQ last year, we could talk about how IQ was inconsistent last year. He made a big run towards the end, but this year I gotta give him his flowers early, man. IQ has been a monster
Yep.
all throughout. Whether he came from the bench, whether he was starting for either RJ Barrett or Brunson when Brunson was hurt for like the 2 games. I mean, he had career highs in starting position. As a starter, I think his high was 36 points, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say
Confidence.
that. Yep. So you
Confidence
got
is up.
yep.
His confidence is up. He tries to take those long threes. Sometimes he'll be like 2 or 3 feet off that 3-yard line and still make it. His confidence is peaking, is very high. I think he would like to play with his teammates, Obi, if Obi can get more time. I would love to see Obi and IQ and Grimes and still the young group.
yeah.
The confidence is getting more and more every week the more they play. Can't wait to see them. If we make it to the playoffs and they get a little bit of taste of what it's like to play in the playoffs, they'll be, I can't wait till next year. Can't wait till that. I can't wait to see what happens the rest of the year, and I can't wait till next year if we keep these guys and they develop a little bit better. Our goal was to develop the youth, was to create a culture, get a coach in here that could be in here a while, not just like 2 or 3 years and then he's gone. We need a consistent coach with a good culture that, which is what Thibs is doing, developing our defensive culture and instilling discipline. And making these guys play a good, hard 48 minutes, which is what he wants. Because if we can do well for 48 minutes when it comes to playoff, then that's where really the battle's going to, our durability should be where Thibs wants them at. We have to have the stamina, we have to have the durability, and also the cohesiveness. Yeah, I think that's what Thibs is shooting for, and I think that's what he's getting.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. I think the cohesiveness, the team gelling, that's what I think is a plus as far as a 9-man rotation, the 10-man rotation that you're seeing the chemistry between the players starting to mature now. So they're getting an idea of how they're playing, where they're going to be, who's going to get those steady minutes, who they can count on, which is a huge plus as we're talking about as IQ. IQ has been consistent and they can count on him whether he's coming off the bench, whether he's becoming a starter, which shows his growth. So he's got to be maybe one of the most improved players. He could be up there. I know they're talking about Larry Marketing, but IQ is definitely up there. He's one of our most. He is our bench essentially. I mean, he's getting most of the points off the bench. So that goes to what we're talking about. Shout out to the front office for selecting him. Him and Grimes. These are our draft picks that we selected and have developed to be these rising stars, as we just saw. As Q, he stood out against all the other people that were all the other players that were there out of the rising stars. He's the one that showed out and let people know he's that dude. So
Yeah.
he's our rising star, and then you got IQ, who could have been in there, who's been doing excellent. So I think these are definitely 2 people that we have to resign. There's a lot of talk about trading IQ and see if you who else you're gonna get that's gonna give you that already has the chemistry,
Yeah.
that can already facilitate, that it's already been giving you that offense. That's someone that I think is a pivotal signing this year that we have to sign.
IQ is like our Maxi for the 76ers. They wouldn't give Maxi away. He's still developing. They're still in his second and third year. These guys are going on their third year playing, and you wouldn't give a guy like that away. You wouldn't want to. I wouldn't think so, unless you get a really good deal, some all-star or free agent out there. Maybe for the summer. We still got, there's a lot going on in not between this summer, at the end of the summer, at the end of the season, and next year. A lot of free agents are going to be popping up. I think that Leon is just holding on to his picks. So for when the time comes in a year or two, who might be ready for us. But at the meantime, these guys are developing and getting better with their defense and their cohesiveness. I would love to see Obi and IQ play out there more for the second squad, because when they're out there popping, I mean, our second group is pretty good. They're formidable, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're really good. The hard part is trying to keep them. People talking about trades. We don't want to trade IQ. We don't want to trade you. You homebound. You homegrown. We don't. We grew you here. We know you wanted to be here. We want to
Coach
sign you.
likes him.
Yeah, I mean the this Tibbs preference choice. So now it's just about money and how much
You
they're willing
know,
to
yeah.
take. You know what I mean? So
I
how much
think
does IQ really want to take, or does he want the bag? Is there going to be
if
another
we're gonna
team?
pay that man at least 100 mil. That like we've done everybody else.
But that
When the
yeah, but
time comes,
but you can't give everybody 100 mil. You can't. I mean, you can't give everybody 100. You know what I mean? That's not realistic. And somebody's got to
hey,
take a
but you're
small
talking
bag.
about Dwight that if he continues at the pace that he's going, IQs. You talk about six man of the year. They're trying to make him develop into that dude. I mean, that's he. I'm not saying that he's starting to play like a six man of the year, like their six man. He's pretty good. He ain't bad. He ain't bad, and I think that he's trying to. It's just time. He's still young. He's still early. I don't think he's got the kind of strength yet. Um, but his decision making is really good. Guys, that floater they're afraid of. They're afraid of his floater, and when he goes to the basket, people do pay attention. He almost gets double teamed because IQ isn't anyone to sleep on. And I think a guy like that, you should pay him eventually. Maybe not this year, in a year or two, eventually. We'll find a way maybe to work things out. But if you don't trade him away for a good deal to a good team that isn't our competition, you might want to pay the dude eventually because he's a star player, I think, eventually.
I mean, yeah, you gotta pay him, but that's where it's how much do you pay him? So people saying like you said, maybe 100 mil. Is he giving you Brunson numbers every night, 35? And is he giving you Randall numbers? Is he in the All Star game? Is he a potential All Star snub? The ones we talking about, we give him 100 mil that are All Stars, All Star snub. They're in the All Star ranking. Could he be six man? You have to win that to get it first. And I think he's legitimately someone that deserves to get paid for us. We'd love to keep him, obviously. But I mean, realistic, you're looking maybe like at a 3 year, 60, most 70, depending on how he contributes, 3 or 4 years in that 60, 70 range. And that's a lot. That's a lot of
I
money.
said 100 mil because that seems the number that we've been giving. We gave Randall, we gave RJ, we gave Brunson.
But
Um,
is he giving you them numbers? Is he could if
he's
you
one
look
of
at
our
it,
best defensive players. He's got a killer
he's a good
floater.
defense. I don't know if
He
he's a
can hit
great
the
defenseman.
3-point shot. He's a 3-and-D guy. I'm not saying I think maybe in a year or two, as he gets a little stronger and more seasoned, he'll be that guy. He'll be that guy.
He's averaging right now 12.7 points a game, 4 rebounds a game, and 3 assists per game.
That was a
So
solid number.
those are solid numbers, but not 100 mil numbers. 100 mil numbers is 25 and better. And I'm not no shot to him because I love Q. You know what I'm saying? I want him Manuel quickly to be there, but even as a six man, his 6 man role is like 50 million, 60
Pay that man his money.
multiple years. I mean, for us, respectively. Now the problem is that there's other teams that ain't doing so good that are boo boo teams, and I would say that loosely. If you're in the NBA, you're a baller. But there's teams that aren't at the top echelon that are willing to probably give them that bag you talking about, the 125 mils in that range on there, and that's where we would have to see. I think we would.
125. I didn't say 125 mil. I said about
I'm saying other teams,
100,
not us,
100 mil.
not us, but there's other teams that may put him as a starter.
125 is a lot. Yeah.
There's other teams that will give him a starting role, and he may feel he wants to be as a starter.
Yeah.
Him, you know what I mean? So he could. There's a lot of teams he could play for. Not a lot, but there's some out there he can start for that'll give him that $100 million. And I think the test for us, I think next year, the end of next year is when we have to pay him. But I think by this summer, we got to give him a good offer, a 60 between 60 and 70 mil range. And then if he doesn't take it, then at that point you would look for shopping him. You know what I mean? If he thinks he's gonna get the bag or he opts out of that extension, then
I
at
would
that
love
point,
for
yeah.
I would love for him to stay loyal with the Knicks. I hope that we do right by him, and that he sticks around long enough for a year or two for when we get a free agent. Hopefully, it's Spider Mitchell. in 2 years, that he stick around and wants to play with this dude. You know, I'm sure that he loves being in New York, loves the scenery in the off season when they're not balling. You know how he gets to hang out, who he gets to hang out with. We see him a lot when in the last year in the off season. He was hanging out with D. Mitchell. He was hanging out a lot with the celebrities. You know, he's got a lot.
They was in the Hamptons
They
chilling.
were in the Hamptons. He loves being in the Hamptons out there. He just loves the life out here, and I'm sure that he'll be patient enough to want to stick around if we do right by him. But I think that he's doing right by us because he seems to be working really hard and getting consistent. You know, he's getting the minutes. I mean, a year from now, a year ago, it wasn't like that for him. Now look how far he's gotten. He's developed, and where we're at because of his growth. We're solid defensively.
Yeah, and I think he'll stay, but it's how much you're gonna give him. You know what I mean?
We'll see how things work out. But hopefully things will work out for both sides.
And we team IQ, so we support. Hopefully, it's
team IQ.
I think we're gonna give him a good number. You know what I mean? So
Ice Cube.
Ice Cube, Emmanuel quickly.
Yes.
So him. So, what do you think about the future of Obadiah Toppin? How do you think that looks?
Again, he's another Knick that I would love to see stick around, but you know, I would love to see him get minutes somewhere. Also, if we could just find Thibs could be a little bit more creative in how to use him. Randall's been solid all year long. The guy, he hasn't been out for Obi to get minutes like that, which is good. That Randall's been a consistent player. But I would love to see Obi get more minutes somehow, if not with us, somewhere else. You know,
what do you consider minutes compared to what he's getting now?
He's not getting a whole lot of minutes. He's making like 16 minutes right now. He's playing 16 minutes.
He's average. I think when he's healthy, he's been averaging roughly about between 15 and 17 minutes.
Yeah, I would like to see him. You know, 25 minutes, 26 minutes. You know what we could get out of him. If we could get him for 26, eventually work him up to 30, you know, but Randall's been solid. He's been solid in his 3-point shooting and his defense, you know, all around. He's just been a solid guy. Maybe, you know, after the break, maybe, you know, he'll slow down and you may want to rest him a little bit, not give Randall so many minutes, especially as we're going towards the playoffs, you know, kind of give Obi more minutes, so that Randall can have a little bit of a break and not play him so many minutes towards the second half of the season, because you may need him when we get into the playoffs. You're gonna need Randall full strength, so we might want to give Obi some of those minutes and kind of like even it up a little bit between the two of them.
So let's look at some of his stats. The first year that he was here, he was getting 11 minutes. Fans weren't happy with that. In those 11 minutes, he was averaging 4 points. You know, about 50% from the field. Obviously, that was good because he was doing a lot of the dunks, fast breaking. So that was okay.
Beginning of the year, how many minutes was he playing at the beginning of this year when he was doing really well?
I'm going into that. So the first year is 11 minutes a game. The second year, which was last year, he was averaging about 17 minutes a game. He was making 9 points. He was getting, 3-pointers. He wasn't doing that great in 3-pointers. Free throw attempts, he was 1.3. So he was getting almost 2 free throw attempts because he was in the fast breaks on there.
This was towards the end of last year.
Towards the end of last year. And then he was averaging.
He was starting to play a little bit more minutes, and his numbers are starting to pick up.
To about 17, correct. So
he was on a roll of the year, on a roll.
He was getting about 3 rebounds and almost 2 assists a game. Mm-hmm. Now this year, he's at about 15 minutes a game.
This was the beginning of this year.
This is just up to now, within 45 games.
Right before he got injured.
I mean, you're not going to count the injury because obviously he didn't play, but all the games he played.
Before the injury, because I'm talking about towards his trend towards the end of last season and where he picked up at the beginning of this season before the injury.
But the beginning of this season is really not going to count, only because they didn't have no set rotation. Everybody was playing. Cam was playing. Deuce was playing. They were playing everybody, so you can't really count on anything sporadic. I mean, consistent, because we had no consistent rotation at that time.
I guess what I'm saying is that because I remember the beginning of the season, his numbers were good. His numbers were he was hitting the most 3-pointers. What I'm wondering is how many minutes was he playing in the beginning of this season when he was
His
with his
I'm
numbers
saying
were
it,
high at the beginning. I remember, if I recall.
I don't have the beginning, but his average overall,
Thought I could,
he's averaging 15 minutes a game, and in those 15 minutes from last year, he was getting 17 with 9 points a game. This year, he's getting 15 with 6.4 a game. So that's dropped. Field goals made has dropped by about two, and then 3 pointers is up this year. He's making about 1.2, so his 3 pointers definitely went up on there. And then if you're looking at his rebounds went down. No, it's about the same, about 3 rebounds a game, and his assists are ballpark about the same. So he could get more minutes, but his percentages has gone down. All right, and that's him and RJ. People say that's regression. I don't know. I think that's again you're implementing Jalen Brunson on there. Jalen Brunson is taking a lot of possessions. He's slowing the ball as much. They're not running as much as they were, as you were saying in the beginning. So when they were doing that, it's a whole different thing. So I don't know. I like Obadiah for us here. It's just gonna be hard to give him those heavy minutes.
yeah,
So do you think he's someone that are they looking actively to trade, or do you think it's something that we can keep him realistically?
they could be. Trade season's over now, so all we can do now is hang out to him and play him. Use him now that all the trade rumors and all that whole we're past the trades and the mid season. Now we just hang out with the guys that we got. We're gonna keep everybody. We're gonna keep Fournier. We have Rose. I don't see anything happening in between till the end of the season. But we got our guys, so we have our bench. We have just like I told you in the beginning of the year. I don't see these. I didn't see these guys going anywhere. I saw us hanging on to them. We might need them as reserve in case someone.
You mean Evan and Rose?
Evan Rose, Obi, all these guys that were in trade rumors. You got from Evan Rose, Obi. They talked about IQ. They talked about RJ. The only one they never talked about were Mitch Robb, Julius, and Brunson are the only ones who weren't. Everybody else was in trade talks rumors. But now that that's behind us, now these guys can focus and not have to worry that they're going anywhere. And now it's just focusing on winning these games because we have our next after this when we get back, we're playing our Eastern Conference opponents, the Washingtons, the Miamis. We gotta battle these guys. We gotta battle the Nets in the next couple of games. And then we're going on our West Coast trip where we got to battle back to back. We got the Clippers and we got the Lakers. So we have to focus on these guys playing with one another and having fun and winning these games. Focusing on the practice. I'm sure that they're doing their practices. From this whole entire week, we're not. These guys are in there getting their minutes and getting to know each other well and knowing their positions and their spots. And no one has to look over behind their back if they're going anywhere or who's going to be playing or who's not going to be playing. I think these guys are going to have a better definition of what their roles will be now towards the end of this year. And it's all about winning now, playing for the coach and winning now because we have to win every game. Every game we have to win.
That's gonna be big. That's gonna be definitely big.
We have to win these games because not only that, we're also trying to get the home court advantage. So although everybody we play against, we have to at least, if we play them 4 times, we got to beat them 3 out of the 4 times that we meet because we want to have that home court advantage. No matter who it is that we're going up against, even these Western Conference teams, we want to beat them as many times as we can so that we get that home court advantage when we get to the playoffs because that's going to be very important for us.
Yeah, that's gonna be big, especially like teams that we played against, like Philly. I think we're tied up with them, or who's gonna have the advantage on that, on who gets the home court advantage. I think that's gonna be big. But again, for us, it might not be that big of a deal. Not saying that's not big of a deal because obviously you playing at the Garden. However, we haven't been that good the last 2 years. We're getting better, and I think Hart showed the difference of playing at home, which I think that's big because the games that he played and that he showed out was in the Garden.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a plus to let our team know like we got to win at home.
Yeah.
So I think that was a big plus from Josh Hart when we got him that when he played at the Garden, he gave everything at the Garden.
Yeah, we got that home court. We got to defend our home court, which is difficult. But it's like I said, I think that the team has a mental block playing at home. I think the guys who've been here a while have that mental block because they know what the weight is playing at MSG, and you can see how Randall can't really handle it.
So that's why I think Josh Hart was a plus because look at that energy. He's gonna offset whatever you're thinking. Nah, we need to win. You know what I'm saying?
But
Like
he's never had to play in the Garden like that all the time, and he doesn't feel that weight yet. Fortunately, he won't have to because it's been such a great start for him. But you know what I mean? If for the guys, when they're going through their roughs, when it's rough for them, sometimes it's hard to play at the Garden because you feel the ridicule from the fans, and I think it's a lot easier for them. It's not such a weight on their shoulder when they're playing away. But you're right, Josh Hart does bring that, that mentality, that defend your home mentality.
he brings that he's Knicks basketball, which that's why if you look at everybody as a Knicks fan, they're already talking about start him, put him as a starter, get rid of Grimes. So they're delusional right quick because you can't get rid of Grimes. However, that goes to show we respect hustle. We respect grind. If you grind and hustle and go for the loose ball, how many dives and rebounds and offensive rebounds did he go for? Finding the players, looking for the fast break. He got Obi on a fast break. That's why I told you he's a good playmaker. So he's that missing cog that we were missing to energize the team. I don't think he's a person. He has that Jalen Brunson will, which that's what I like about it. So they play together, but they have that will to win, and that is what our young players don't know. That's what Julius Randle lacked a little bit. That him and Brunson are winners, so they know how to make winning plays and turn that energy into winning. They're not gonna let a bad play go. And if you listen, I think to the end of the one of their post game recaps, he was talking about momentum plays. When they talk about momentum, that they look for plays that kill the opponent. Right? So when it's a turnover or it's a rebound, that he looks and they strive for that. That they know they look for those plays because once they know that they get that momentum play, that it's gonna kill the other team, whether it's an offensive rebound, a layup, a block, something. So they got that mentality to win. So I think he's gonna be real huge in the playoffs for us. Big time.
Oh yeah, most definitely. You got that. It's so genius the way Leon and the front office got the guy, and it's like, yo, we get that winning mentality, that Villanova winning mentality, to have these guys back in the Garden winning again like they were for the Wildcats. You got the two biggest ones, Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson, back in the Garden, winning again, getting that feeling that needs to spread throughout the team. That it needs to be contagious. That winning, that drive, to have that drive to win there and have the fans behind you. Yeah, and
I think
motivation.
Yep, I think he was that spark plug, and you can see
that spark plug.
Yep, so you can see even when they said, "Yo, we got Josh Hart," his eyes lit up, his excitement for that.
He knew we're gonna win. We're winning. I got a guy behind me with my mentality to win.
Thank you.
In the Garden.
Thank you.
God,
so he knows
what I see.
Someone else is gonna dive or give it 1,000%. Whatever that he does, whatever it's gonna take to win. So he's teaching Randall, and Randall's getting it. Randall's not the one player, right? Randall's not the guy. Randall wants to be the one, but he's the consistent. He's the motor, right? He's the motor that's going to keep going. But you got Randall, you got Jalen Brunson and Josh that are going to do the extra.
It's contagious. It's lighting a fire under Randall's ass. Even Randall's he needed a good point guard. It's like when he had Peyton out here his first year. It was the only point guard that he trusted. Was Peyton. So you gotta give Peyton a little bit of credit. People didn't like the way he didn't drive to the basket and scored, but the guy did play decent defense, and he had Randall's confidence for the first year and a half he was here, and then you went through the year where there wasn't a real point guard, and you had Alex Burke was a point guard, he's decent. He's decent. I liked Burke. I didn't want to get rid of him, but he's not.
But he wasn't a point guard.
Hey man, he ain't nowhere close to Jalen Brunson. And now you get a real point guard who for Randall, he's more than what Gary Payton and Alec Burke, was. He's a true guy. He's played in Dallas. They're familiar with one another, and then you bring in Hart, who he's familiar with from his rookie year, and there's more confidence for Randall. He doesn't have to worry. So I think he trusts his team more. He's not hogging the ball and going into three guys and no handle Randall, no handle.
Yeah,
He has confidence he can pass the ball. You got shooters around. He
yeah,
likes the guy. He likes to even though you see Randall even coaching the younger guys. He's in Grimes'
facts,
ear. He's in Deuce's ear, and so he likes
facts.
the guys around him now. He trusts. He's been there long enough. He's got his 3 years in. He's got his guys. He's trusting his teams. He trusts his Ice Cube. I think the only one that he has had the hardest trouble trusting and working with was Fournier. But even at the end of last year, in the beginning of the first year, it was rough for Fournier and Randall. But then towards the end, they started gaining trust in one another.
Yeah, because they had to get familiar with each other's game and where can they count and contribute on it. And Fournier's a guard, small forward, so he's trying to figure out where he wants to play, But they needed a guard, someone to control the offense, so someone to take the ball off of Randall, which Fournier couldn't do on there. But that's a big point you were talking about, that people weren't giving credit to Randall, that before he was spinning and fumbling and bumbling and creating all the turnovers, but now he's trusting in the teammates. And in
Yeah.
the young players, which is big, he's trusting in Grimes. He's throwing it out of Grimes. He's passed it out to Deuce
He trusts them.
numerous times.
Yeah. They trust Sims. They trust iHeart. There's a lot of guys, these guys are playing for the team. They're playing for the coach. When you're playing for the coach, you're playing for the team. You're not being that selfish. It ain't about your numbers. It's about, they're going for the 50-50 ball. Those guys are hustling out there. I haven't seen them hustle. I haven't seen this team hustle like that since
Yeah.
they played for Woodson when they went in that 54.
And that was a team full of veterans. So veterans knew how to play back then, So that was a different mentality on there.
Yeah,
And
the veteran,
what's Tibbs' mantra? You got to sacrifice for the team. It's about the team, not
and
the
that's
player.
what they're doing. Those guys are sacrificing for the team.
Yeah,
Out there
Deuce,
on the
Deuce,
floor. A guy like Brunson, 6'2", throwing themselves, getting bodied, dude. He's taking hits, taking offensive fouls, He's a little
and
football player out there, yeah.
I think back a little bit to Hart. I think that what we're talking about here, I think that Hart is going to be huge for the players that people are questioning right now, for the players that people are talking about trade, for the players that say they're in a slump. I think he's going to help RJ. I think he's going to help Obi, which we've already started seeing some of that come along the way. I think he's going to help the Grimes. I can see, I think we talked about the last episode we were doing, but I can see Thibodeau, because of RJ's slump or slow progression that he's doing, that he's going to implement a time where he's going to maybe not start Josh, but put him in with the starters after a little while, sit RJ early, put
Yeah.
Josh Hart in, and then when he takes out the veterans, keep Josh out there with RJ, with OB, and then, with IQ and all that, because he helps him. He helps facilitate that.
Let me ask you something. What do you think? Do you think that Josh Hart should start and that RJ should come off the bench with the first group?
No, not at all. RJ 6'7", man. RJ 6'7", probably two and change. He's going through a slump, and everybody keeps talking about RJ and what he's going through. He's done the most adjustment over any player, from 5 coaches to how many starting lineups, playing with Randall, deferring to Randall. Then you include Brunson in. Then you're trying to get OB some minutes. Then you're giving IQ some starting minutes. He's made all the adjustment, and he's still giving you 20 a game. That's the crazy part. He's still giving you 20 every night with Bum messing up how he's doing now. He's still giving you 20 a game. And he was up there close to 23.
You would want to keep Josh Hart with the second group?
Josh is a spark plug. You can't take him away from his role. Every player has to have their role. Josh Hart he said it himself. We said it at the same podcast, I think, before he said it, but that he's a Swiss Army knife. He's the plug. He's the glue guy. So he's the middle guy in between. He can play with the starters. He can play with the bench. He can help the unit when he facilitates. He can do a little bit of all that. So that's where he plays. He's not a starter type guy. That's not his role. His role is that he can help the team. He can give the team spurts and energy. He can help other players, but he's definitely not a starter. He shouldn't be starting over Grimes. He shouldn't be starting over RJ. He's a six man type of player to help out. He's good at a lot of things, but not great at any specific thing, and that's a good thing. That's nothing bad. So I don't think he needs to be starting at all. In spurts, if something happens and somebody gets hurt or whatever, he's good in spurts of minutes. He's not. I don't see him good for 30 straight minutes. You know what I'm saying? You're going to take away his ability. You need to give him a good 15 to 20 minutes or even a little bit north of 20 minutes. And the 20-minute range is really good where he's going to give you 120% in those 20 minutes. He's going to hustle. He's going to dive. He's going to get those intangibles. And I think that's where he's at his best to me. I don't think he needs to be started. You can't take away Grimes, who's obviously the rising star, who's off right now with his 3-pointer. But with that rising stars, he's gonna go off. When he gets in the zone, when he gets in a playoff and he's in that rhythm, hitting, you gotta respect that. And when you respect that three and or his drive, then you got a 3 to 4 headed monster. Grimes, RJ,
Yep.
Randall, and Brunson. And then lob into Mitch. Then who you gonna worry about at that time? And when Mitch comes in, it's over. It's a problem. Then we're gonna get back to our defensive rating.
Yep.
So that's where the blockness monster is almost back. Just we're letting them.
He's gonna be when he comes back. He's gonna be another spark. He's gonna be oh man, I can just see him grabbing rebounds, man. Nobody gonna fuck with him when he comes back, dude. Excuse my language. And he's gonna be so energized and so hyped to come back, and he's gonna be grabbing. He's gonna be eating up rebounds when Mitch Rob comes back. It's gonna be a whole lot of fun
Shout out to the chat.
between the rebounds between Josh Hart, IQ, and Mitch Rob. We're gonna have so many opportunities to score. This is gonna be so much fun. I can't wait.
And that's where a lot of teams like the haters, the Reggie Millers, and people who don't watch the Knicks, don't know about our team. They really don't. That's why they hate on it. That's why they sleep it.
I think they know. That's why they hate, man. That's why they hate. They're trying to calm all the New York heads down and burst our bubble and talk all this shit because they got their soapbox. They got their soapbox and they can talk all the shit they want.
Anybody in the top six, and whoever's in the top six, what of any of those top six to top eight? Let's go top eight. Let's go top 8, top 10. Anybody in those teams who has had more diversity within players, injuries, different rotations than us? Nobody. They've all played together. They've played together for a long time. They got the same players. We've been rotating players like a merry-go-round. And even then, we've still been saying above 500. We've figured out ways to win and fight back. It struggled in the beginning when we lost those 20-point leads and stuff like that. But now we know how to win. Now we know how to close. And now we figured out how to close and finish with different rotations. We did with Mitch when we went on that, I think Nick called it a 7-8 run. We did that with Mitch. Mitch gets hurt. On to the next player. Then Hartenstein. He came in. Then there was a time that Jericho played really well. And all the other players. And through all that, we figured out how to win. RJ got hurt. Jalen got hurt. IQ came in. We learned how to win and figured out how to win that way. And those are the things that people ain't talking about. We learned how to win in many different situations, whether IQ was starting, whether he was starting for Brunson. He was, I want to say it was like 6-2 almost in starting. When he started, I think the 4 games with RJ, 2 with Brunson. So we won every time, I think 2 games when IQ went there. So we found out how to win with IQ. We found out how to win with Hart at the 5. We found out how to win with Jericho Sims at the 5, with RJ out. So that's a big thing for us, man. A lot of people sleeping on that. We know we're finding ways to win whatever it takes, and that's going to be big. That's where the fear factor came in. That's what you were talking about. Are other teams scared of us? And I said, nah, not yet. They ain't scared of us. Right? They ain't scared of us yet. They're respecting it, but they ain't scared of us yet until they see our name across. When it says Knicks versus whoever that is, then they got a problem. And when we get Mitch, what do you think about the blockness monster?
What? Like I said, I can't wait for him to get back. I can't wait. He's rested. He's eager. He's hungry. He's gonna kill it.
I agree. And they were talking about, it could be rumors, but they were talking about that Rose and the front office are talking about a buyout for him. Maybe we get a veteran. Do you think it's smart to get rid of Rose now as with a buyout, and if there's maybe a veteran that we can get that can probably contribute if we needed to, or do you think you'd like to keep Rose at least to the end of the year, see what he can do?
I like to keep Rose to the end of the year, unless there's something. I trust this front office. I ain't gonna doubt if there's somebody out there that they want to go after, that they can buy out Rose and bring somebody in who's going to be helpful to the bench. Because these guys are really good. The front office at killing two birds with one stone. They got us Josh Hart, which was an injection, and also they got rid of Camp, who was just sitting there. And even though he seemed happy. No, I'm not gonna say he seemed happy. He didn't seem. No, for a guy sitting on the bench, he still rooted for us. He still campaigned. You saw him, cheerful a little bit, knowing that he was probably never gonna play again, and was gonna get moved on from. But he was still there, supportive of the team, I think. But regardless, it was somebody just sitting there taking up space, and we traded him for somebody who's productive. And I'm sure they'll probably do the same thing with Rose. Rose is there. He's cheering for us. He's there for us. He's there for the team. He doesn't seem to be a downer sitting on the bench, but he's also not doing anything. And we could probably, if I trust the front office finding someone for Rose that could be productive at least.
I could agree with that. And what I want to touch on a point that I thought about that I don't really think anyone's really thinking about, or as an aspect, as in that tangible that we were talking about there, that if they're talking about a buyout, people are like, oh, they maybe free millions for free money and try to get some other player. I actually think that if that is the case, I think they're doing it for Rose. I think which that's what I like about the front office, because Leon Rose was what, an agent, right? And an agent's always thinking of the best interests of his players. So he comes with that different mindset as an agent as for the ownership. So if you see some of the moves that you're looking at, he's thinking about the player themselves. We kept Julius. We try to motivate him even when he had his other stuff going on, to think of his mindset, what's in the best player, the interest of that player. You know what I mean? So even with Cam, I think the trade for the Blazers, when we moved Cam there, it was for a better situation for him, because we could have traded him probably anywhere else and probably got a better second pick from a terrible team. But I think they still took their time with that and found a good team where it'll be a good position for Cam to play. Where he's going to get an opportunity.
Out. They try to make everybody happy, send them somewhere where they'll find their or play their part. They don't screw we don't ever screw our players like that.
Which is a great thing, and that's going to get a star player here. And even for someone like Rose, maybe Rose like, you know what, I want to play, because I remember him saying he wants to be like a Brady and play for many years. Maybe he's like, yo, I want to play. I feel healthy now. I'm probably not in this rotation. I'm probably not going to be in this rotation. I love it here. I want to be a Knick. I would like to retire Knick, but that's not the reality of what's happened. I would like to see maybe with the free agency, because right now if we buy him out, he can go to an organization or someone and possibly get a ring. You know what I mean? So if he still thinks he has a little bit of juice left, you know what? Let's give you this bread. Let's agree on some money. Go do your thing. You know what I mean? And I think that's what's happening if it goes there, because I like that for the organization, which you don't normally see anymore. You don't see where we got love for the players. They just treat it strictly transitional. Business.
Let's talk about that a second. If you're talking about trading Rose to a team that's going to get a ring, so that he can get a ring, what teams are you talking about?
I'm not talking about trading. I'm talking about buying him out.
Buying him out.
That way, which is a bigger, even more important as what I'm talking about, because that they could have traded him. They could have gotten anywhere to free up that 14 mil, get draft picks, because that's $14 million. Any team would have taken 14 mil to free off their cap. They would have gave you a dead weight contract so you can free up some money or some picks, but they chose not to do that in the respect of the player, because he wants to be with the Knicks. Thibodeau loves him, and you know what? See if we can use you, and if we can't, what would you like to do? You know what? I still want to play. Well, let's buy you out. That way he can pick. That way he can pick.
Yeah.
Instead of they could have taken him anywhere, to Lakers or somewhere else where he wouldn't want to be, and got some capital for him. But giving him, the decision like, yo, we're gonna buy you out, and then you could do whatever you want and go wherever you want, rather than being traded to somewhere.
Just hang out. We'll buy you out and hang out and still be a part of this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that just like Latrell Sprewell works for us, just like Allen Houston, just like Starks, I'm pretty sure at some point he's going to be an assistant coach or something in our organization. I'm more than
Or he
sure
could
that.
be in the locker room. He could just be in the locker room as a, somebody cool, calm everybody down and still be that spiritual leader that they need in there.
He said he could, but he said he never got to that mentally because unless he's playing in the game, he doesn't feel like he can contribute. Or he should be given a voice if he's not on the
Yeah,
floor.
you're right.
You know what I mean? So I think if they do buy him out, I think that's something that they're doing for him, which is really good. You know what I mean? That people don't think of an agent, a former agent that's always thinking about players. You know what I mean? So that's good, and that shows what a superstar that this organization is being run good, and they got a president who thinks about the player and
Yeah.
is building a team right, and that's thinking about the players. So the players gonna be like, you know what? If I go to the Knicks, they got a great foundation. They got great
Yeah.
young people. They draft well. They paid really good, efficient. They're fair. You know what I mean? And it's the Garden. Why wouldn't want to go play there with Quentin Grimes, IQ, RJ, Randall, and Jalen Brunson? They're killers out there. If I go over there, I'm going to take them over the top.
Check it out. Speaking of Randall and Jalen Brunson, so I had remember that chart I sent you about the NBA strongest relationships?
Yep.
The top assist combinations in the 2022-23 NBA seasons. How they rank the assist combo.
Yep.
Their rankings in the assist. And let me go over. They ranked it 1 through 15. And so the assist combo, the number one assist combo would be James Harden, Joel Embiid with 167 assists. The second combo would be Tyrese Halliburton and Buddy Hield with 118 assists. Third ones with Nikola Jokic and Aaron Gordon, 114 assists combined. Darius Garland and Evan Mobley with 112 combined. Number 5 was Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. Jokic again with 106 combined. But number 6 was Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle with 105 assists combined.
Respect that. Talk to him.
Respect that. And behind him is number 7, Sabonis.
A bunch of other people we don't care about. Back to Jokic. A bunch of other people we don't care about. All we know is that we top 6 with them two. Yeah. And Jokic has been there like 3 times. I saw that list about 3 times. But that shows you
that we're way ahead of the assist combo of Jrue Holiday, Brook Lopez. I was looking at the Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown, or Marcus Smart and Jason Tatum. We're way ahead of them. They're only Marcus Smart and Jason Tatum got 88 assists combined, and Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown got 89 combined.
That's the only trouble we see when Marcus Smart comes back.
Yeah,
when Marcus Smart comes back, I think that's my comparison with Deuce. When Deuce to me is our Marcus Smart. If you look at how Smart came up, he couldn't shoot. He was known as a defender. Yeah. I think Deuce is gonna be our Marcus Smart. So that's a little.
I don't see Milwaukee in there. I don't see
Cleveland.
I don't see Cleveland in there.
Darius Garland.
Darius Garland and Jarrett Allen were last with 86 assists combined.
Yeah, now that Donovan's there, they're gonna go down in the ranking on there. But that shows the chemistry that we have, that we're gonna be gelling. I think this last half of the season is the last evaluation of whoever's here. The rumor talks you heard about, the trade talks you heard about, whether it's Obi, whoever. They basically let them know, like, yo, we squashed all that because we believe in you. Now you gotta perform. Whoever doesn't perform now, is we out there. You know what I mean? The new Knicks, that's a fact. We got a great foundation. I agree. And he's saying that Rose would be our basically like our Udonis Haslem in Miami. That could be. That could be.
Why not?
15 million reasons why it won't be, because that's a lot of money, Brett. That's 14 mil. He could if he took a vet minimum. I don't know if he's at that vet minimum yet. If you take a vet minimum, when he can make money and probably go to a team, I think he's gonna at least give it one last hurrah to go try to do something with another team. And I don't
know. I just don't think that his knees are there, man. I think that he's just another Kemba Walker, man. His knees are done.
No, I think his knees are there. I think it was his foot. The last 2 years was his foot.
But if it's not his knee, his foot, and then his big toe.
Well, that's what I said. It'll be his last. I mean, he sat a long time, so should be healthy. I don't know about a rhythm.
You also would have to shake that rust off if he was going to play for anybody. So I mean, But like you said, we buy him out. It's all good. We keep him there on the bench.
Give him a last hurrah.
Like
I mean,
a
right?
mentor, a last hurrah. I would love to bring in Carmelo Anthony if we want to fill in that 15 spot.
I don't think Carmelo Anthony's ring chasing right now. We ain't there. As much as we love it, I think maybe in a year, maybe
He wouldn't
two.
be able to contribute anything if he's
Which is what I'm saying.
If
we can't get,
pick him up, he hasn't played in almost 2 years.
he'll give
All
you.
you could do is just be like the voice or somebody in the locker room.
Nah, that ain't. Melo's a bucket, bro. Melo, he's gonna go out there. He can give you 30.
Use him as a bucket. Also, he's still a bucket. But
He can give you 30 from the bench, but
you think he can still give me 30 from the bench, dude?
I guarantee it. I will guarantee you.
You think that he could? You think that he's better than Randall? Randall can't
offensively. Offensively, if we talk 30, we talking about offense. We talking about Carmelo can give you 30 from the bench right now.
Oh man,
with no shoes
and socks, and they haven't played in 2 years, man.
Yo, I guarantee you, he can hit 30 right now.
I'm not doubting he couldn't, but I don't think that.
And not only is he going to give you 30, he'll give it to you from everywhere. He's going to give you from the post, his little fadeaway turnaround. He's going to be 60 hitting 30 points a game. It's his defense and his passing. Now, if we had traded OB, I'm talking about he would be ideal. Now, he would be ideal to back up Randall. He would be an ideal person to back up Randall. If we ain't have OB and you had a free spot and Randall's tired, right then that's EFC, Eastern Conference Finals there, because you got someone that when he goes in the game, he's gonna abuse those children. He's gonna take on all them little rookies and body bag them. You got him in IQ, it's over, bro. That's a problem right there. I would like to see it, but I don't think we're there yet. Maybe next year. After we clear out whatever we have.
I'll still keep the IQ OB combo.
I'm not saying you don't. I'm not saying you don't. You could move him to you can move OB if it's all on OB though. It's all on OB, not how he develops. If he's willing to take a certain amount of money, does OB want to be a star after this, or is he okay coming off the bench? That's where the question with OB. That's the only question. That's good. We give you 30 mil or let's say 50 million for 2 years. Is he taking 50 or does he go to another team and be a star for them? And just based off what I was saying, what the organization is going to do, if we trade it, they're going to think for Obi. They're going to put him in an ideal situation, i.e. maybe Brooklyn because he's a New Yorker for Mikal Bridges or something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. That would be dope.
Listen, we love Obi. Obadiah Top, and we love you, bro. We want you here forever, but we also want you to succeed and be successful. Yeah. So if it's not here with us, we still want you to be successful, no matter where you go.
I think Coach Vaughn would do really well with Obi. I would love to see him.
He would do good young there. If it's there, I would love to see him in a place where he's in.
I would love to give Coach Vaughn that if he would give us make a nice little trade. You can have Obi.
Hey, New Nick said he needs one of Mike's cold takes. Who you got winning against us in the Eastern Conference, bro? Cold takes.
Who you got winning in the Eastern Conference? That's a good question.
Us.
I like us, of course.
Who do you think is going to give us the toughest out of all the teams there? Who would give us a toughest?
Milwaukee.
Okay, I got that. I'm with that. What about the second?
Boston.
Ooh. Okay, I can respect the due to where
Milwaukee, Boston, and the 76ers are the ones who to me, I still have Miami up there because they always play as good.
And there it is, the cold take of the day.
I gotta say Miami because Miami to me is the number one enemy out there.
Cold take.
To me, my number one enemy is always the fucking Heat. But right now it's Milwaukee. Yo, definitely, dude. Come on, Dwight. From back in the days, dude.
Yeah. We lived in Miami. We got it. We were there. We was there.
LeBron James era and the whole shit. So, but I don't think the Heat are making too much noise this year.
Wait. Hold on. You hear what they did? They just got Kevin Love. They just signed.
They picked him up.
They just picked up Kevin Love from now he's in the Heat. So he's going to be their starting center.
Now they got the two oldest guys in the NBA.
The Geritol crew.
They got the Geritol crew.
Hey, AARP loving the Miami Heat right
Yeah.
now, boy. They loving them.
Hey, I like Hart. Oh man, I can't believe they got rid of him in Cleveland, man.
So think about it. I mean, it's a potent if they're healthy. That's the biggest
He's
all-star
good.
thing.
He can still hit the three. He could rebound a little bit. He's not as he's still a good rebounder. He's a decent rebounder, and I wouldn't sleep on him on the 3-point line.
Nah, he's a monster at the three. He's about 40% from the three. So he's their starting center. So Bam Adebayo goes from starting center to power forward.
Oh, he became
now.
this off. Ain't doing nothing.
Yeah.
Dude.
No. Don't sleep on that. Don't sleep on that.
Love is their center.
Yeah, he's gonna get body back by Mitch, but he's gonna spread the floor. That opens up for Bam Adebayo. Bam was their starting center. Now he's gonna play power forward, which he's I think 6'9", so should be a power forward to small forward. So it's not bad, but they still got Kyle Lowry, Mike Lowry, what they call me, Mike Lowry. Mike Lowry.
Yeah, they got a bunch of old men in there. They,
That's
I'm not. Miami is my number one hated team. I'm not afraid of them, but if you're talking about
the Heat, now we don't even feel the fizzle.
No, it would be Milwaukee number one, Boston number two. I think for us,
I agree.
76ers seem to play as good.
That's what I want.
You still have Joel Embiid. You still got Harden. You still the number one, and they're the number one in assist combo right there. And you still talking about Harden. You still talking about Embiid. You still talk about Maxey. They're tough. We got to get past them. And then 50-50 with the Cavs. You're still talking about Spider Mitchell. You're still talking about their center. I forget his name. They got a good squad over there.
Now Cleveland's young. They're I'll probably say the most dangerous. I think they're the most dangerous because they're a deeper team than most of the other top three teams.
Cleveland's
deep.
They got a lot of good chemistry, and they have good chemistry.
They're not. That's one thing I think they're lacking. They're okay. They're not super on the chemistry part. And
you don't think so?
Nah, I mean they're okay, but they don't have. They're not gel. So I think that's where they're lacking on who they defer to. They're still trying to figure that out. They still got young mentality errors. They got great defense though. I mean you got Mobley and you got Jared Allen, so that's their big plus. And you got your backcourt, you got Mitchell and Garland. So they got good talent. They got very good talent. I can't sleep on that. They get good talent and youth on their side, but the experience I think is where it's going to come out to bite them. I think how we were trying to figure out how to win, I don't think they've got that just yet. They haven't figured out how to win on certain things. They got big games, and if Donovan Mitchell doesn't have a big game, like closing out who gets the pass and what plays, I don't think they got that down yet. So in that aspect, I think we would have a shot. I think that'll be an opportunity for us. So if we do play them, it's going to be tough, but I think we will do better closing out at the end. They'll have a game or one or two games where they'll have a big,
So you're saying you think that we're kind of tied with the Cavs?
I think team-wise, I think we're tied with them as far as talent, bench too, because they got a good bench. So they got a lot of,
because they would be in fifth place right now, or are they in fourth?
They're fourth. Brooklyn's fifth.
So they're better. Brooklyn's fifth.
So I think that'll be a bloodbath fight. Like us, that'll be a fight all the way to the
So do you see us
center.
tied with Brooklyn? Because then you're saying that the Cavs are right now better than us.
I'm not saying they're better. I'm saying they're equivalent. They're up there.
Right now, record-wise, they are. Because if they're fourth and the Nets are fifth and we're sixth, they're better than us. I think we're still 4 games behind them. Aren't we?
I'll look it up. But as where we're at now, the difference between us
We'd be tied with them. We have to win 4 games, and they would have to lose, or we would have to win 2, and they would have to lose 2. The 4 games behind them, I think.
But even with that, where we have the advantage is the players we have that know how to win, i.e. Josh Hart, i.e. Jalen Brunson. So these are winners that know how to play. So they know how to close out games. That's why Dallas beat with no Luka, i.e. Jalen Brunson. That's why they beat the Utah. That's why he gave Donovan Mitchell the business. That's why Donovan Mitchell struggled when they played him, because you have someone who knew what to do to close out a game and what it takes to win. Not only the will to win, makes the right plays, Captain Clutch himself, Jalen Brunson, and then you add on his Robin because he's Batman. His Robin, Josh Hart. You know what I mean? So when you
Yes.
have those things, that's where the difference of we win. That I think we would win. So in that aspect, I think we would be a better team to push to the end and fight and win the tough games. If it was to win a game 7, I think that'll be a real tough series for us. But I think we would win. I would like to see if we go Boston. It all depends on Smart. Smart's really good. I don't see any easy way for us to the top. But
Okay, last time we beat Boston, we didn't play against Smart. We had a healthy Tatum and Brown, but we didn't have them fully healthy because they didn't have Smart. So they're still number 1 without him and Brown. They're still pretty tough. Milwaukee, see, because I see
Emangelo says we're 4.5 behind the Cavs, so we're about 4 games behind them.
We're 4.5 games behind the Cavs, so they're a little bit better than we are. But I feel we can take them. I'm not too afraid. I'm not saying we're evenly matched because they do have a better record, but I feel that we can't take them. I don't think they want to see us. So that would be a great series with the Cavs.
It would. I wouldn't want to see it because all the people are gonna be talking about they should have got Donovan. I ain't trying to hear all that mama jamma talk, which will prove them wrong anyway. But I think
even the Nets are tough. I mean, they still got to go hard for trading away KD.
And there it is, the cold take of the day. We talking about Brooklyn.
These guys don't sleep on this.
Yo, this is like 3.
This is the guy. This is the guy who scored 45 points on the Heat.
On the Geritol crew, we're talking about Bridges on the Geritol crew.
So you're gonna sleep on? If you went to Senior Citizen Center, they're still ahead of us. You're gonna sleep on that team?
I'm gonna take a nap. I'm gonna pull out the sleeping bag. I got a tent to pop out.
Cam Johnson,
Who is Cam Johnson? Who is he?
Tim Whitty plays as well.
Dumb Whitty, dumb diddy, dumb
Whitty, dumb diddy boo.
Listen, yo,
they players. Yo, don't sleep on that. Don't sleep on those teams, man.
Yo, they nobody, bro. They are nobody. They just.
Phil, I see Phil banging his head right now against the wall.
This dude. Yo, you talk about Brooklyn. Brooklyn, look, I respect the players. You in the NBA, you good. You all right. You all right. You did 45. IQ did that from the bench, 36 practically. We ain't nobody scared about that. And and as much as I love Bridges. Did you saw when we played Brooklyn what Jalen said to him after he scored on Bridges?
What?
That you can't guard me, and he played with him against Villanova, so he already knows you ain't gonna take it to me. He already has him as a weak spot, so they're not. Jalen Brunson will cook him. Jalen Brunson alone will cook him, man. He's a great defender. I don't see that. Ain't nobody scared of.
You're the one that would give RJ up for Malik Bridges in a heartbeat.
I wouldn't trade RJ for Bridges. Bridges is 20. Bridges is 27. RJ is 22. People tripping on RJ is giving you 20 points a game now. Even if RJ takes time, let's say in 2 years is when he's going to be the Dandara guy. Even if he can give me 20 points for the next 2 years and still learn to work that, by the time Brunson and this dude's coming out, RJ's going to be at that elite level, all-star level. That's what we want. You still want a young player to continue the growth and continue the trajectory of winning. When the old guys are doing, by that time, RJ is going to be at the top of his game. Grimes going to be at the top of his game. Deuce is going to be at the top of his game. They're going to take over and keep these old vets that'll do what they got to do until, you know what I mean? Like that's a positive situation to me. You don't want RJ peaking, in my opinion. I wouldn't want RJ peaking at the same time that Brunson's peaking and at the same time that Randall's peaking, and they're peaking right now. They're on firing all cylinders. Spark plugs are new. The fresh oil is in the motor. They're going. You want RJ to be able to keep up, which is what he's doing, and just be a little more consistent. That's all you want from RJ at this point in time. I wouldn't want him peaking now. I want him peaking next year. Next year, I want him to take that leap. Everyone expected this year, but I would like it next year. Next year to have a go-to move and be more consistent on his 3 and free throws. That's what I'm talking about there.
He wants to he's doing RJ's gonna be all right, man. He's still young, he's 22.
He's 22.
He's real young, he's mad young, dude. That's the day, he's not even 23. He's 24, he's still young, man. He's still he'll be all right. He's gonna be okay.
Bro, if you look at the draft class that I was looking it up. I was looking up RJ's draft class, okay? The only people that are better than him, really, is Zion, who's maybe played 20 games this year, maybe 20.
How is he
Okay,
better if he's not hasn't been playing? And he's
fame
stronger,
wise,
he's bigger, he's stronger.
when he
But is he
plays
really better?
what? Okay, I mean,
The guy who hasn't
what the league
played
says, what the league says.
20 games in the 20 games. How many games in now we do? So you mean he's missed like 30 games?
It's
I mean, not just this year, last year, and his first year. He's going on 3 years. This guy hasn't put in fucking. He hasn't played 80 games almost. He hasn't even played a whole entire year in the last 3 years. So to me, I would put RJ ahead of Zion.
which that's what I'm trying to tell you. I agree
Would,
with you on it.
if I had a choice between Zion and RJ, considering their health record, I'll take RJ all day long.
Well, there you go. So that's the top three. You're talking about Zion and Ja. And Ja already had a team that was already established, that had multiple draft picks, high draft picks, where they got the Dillons and all these other people, and then they ended up getting Adams on this. So they already had, for the most part, an established team. You get their other center, I forgot his name, who's always injured as well, and they got him as I think a top 2, top 3 pick. So he already had a lot of players in a high draft pick that he fell into. So he looks like a true star at what he is, and that's all right. He's doing all right on there. But other than that, I mean, DeAndre Hunter was picked 4th after RJ. He's in Atlanta. He's okay. Always injured. He's not better than RJ. Darius Garland, who took multiple years in Cleveland to find out who he is, that he's just starting to come around now. And
Yeah,
that's with crazy playing time, crazy autonomy to do whatever you want, crazy time to
he's
develop.
played more minutes. Yeah,
Unminute, he was the guy. You could shoot as many shots and do whatever you want. RJ never had that. 5 different head coaches, played behind all these other players,
yep.
and still giving you better stats. And now they're trying to put him ahead. Bro, we can go all day. Jared Culver, who? Kobe White? Nope, disappeared. All day. Rui Hachimura? Nope, he's out. Cam Reddish was 10th. Out of here. PJ Washington, Tyler Hero's the only one. And even then, he's a scorer, but he's not a facilitator.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all could be here all day with everybody. Nobody else in this class. Matisse Thybulle, who was a great defender from Philly, which by the way they traded him to the Blazers. That's a big thing too. When we go to the playoffs, they don't
That's
have
right.
Matisse Thybulle as a 76er who we should body bag. They lost a lot of depth on there. So if you look at the draft classroom, he's still way better than half of all. You have to get
Yep.
down to 40 and 50 to even think about
Yep.
anybody that's
Yep.
close to him. So that's what our draft class, that's what our Knick fans always neglect to think about. Anybody who they thought was better than him, compare the numbers. People are trying to draw Ant-Man, who, by the way, is a number 1 draft pick, who should be better than RJ, and they got almost identical numbers prior to RJ getting injured. So y'all bugging when you're talking about trading RJ. RJ is staying. And you want him peaking in a year or 2. It's my opinion. That's my rant. Fucker out.
There you go.
All right.
My battery's at 10%.
Yeah, we wrapping it up now because the All-Star Game's going to be starting anyway. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, chat. Let us know what you're feeling. Let us know what you're thinking. Give us your info. We're ready for you.
Nation.
Salute, salute, salute. And we out with the intro.
Films in the building. My God, what's good?
And I salute the new Knicks. Let's get it. Shout out to the new Knicks.
The new Knicks, salute my guy.
The new Knicks, the organic podcast.
Sounds like it's about to go down in here. Going down. New York City.